Hello. Welcome to this video dedicated to change management. GMED is pleased to introduce the rollout of its brand new change management process. The new change management process implemented by GMED was developed based on expertise gained in the field of medical device certification, as well as feedback collected and analyzed over the past few years. The expectations and needs expressed by various economic operators, including medical device manufacturers, were also fully taken into account when designing this new process. The objectives of this new process are clear: to address current issues and future challenges, whether regulatory or industrial; to promote innovation in the field of medical devices; and to ensure and maintain a high level of safety and health protection for both patients and device users. To help you learn about, understand, and implement this new change management process, GMED invites you to watch this video, in which we will walk you through the process, its key principles, its various steps, and the associated timelines. We will also introduce you to the brand new change management guide published by GMED. This guide, designed for companies, helps you identify the different types of changes and categorize your change projects. Finally, we will explain how to submit your change requests, a process that is fully digital and accessible via the GMED Connect client app. The changes have been categorized into 6 types. Changes to the company's quality management system. Changes to the device range, which concern the categories and generic device groups, including devices subject to sampling, as well as classes 1S, 1R, 1M, and Class A sterile devices. Changes to approved devices, meaning devices covered by a product certificate and therefore not subject to sampling. Administrative changes, which impact information regarding the company or data on the certificate or any other administrative or regulatory document, such as the certification contract signed with GMED. Significant changes made in the context of voluntary certifications, ISO 13485, ISO 9001, MD-SAP, TCP3 or SOCPRA certification. And significant changes under Regulations EU 2017-745 and 2017-746. Any change project, regardless of its nature, must be classified into one of the following 3 categories. Each of these categories has different procedures for notifying GMED and for implementation. Change projects categorized as Case 1 must be reported to GMED and require prior approval from GMED before they can be implemented by the company. Change projects categorized as Case 2 must also be reported to GMED, but do not require prior approval from GMED before the company can implement them. Finally, change projects categorized as Case 3 do not require notification to GMED. Changes in Case 1 constitute substantial changes that may have a significant impact on the safety or performance of the device, the intended use or conditions of use of the device, critical processes of the company's quality management system, compliance with applicable regulatory requirements. These changes must be reported to GMED and reviewed by GMED. They are then subject to a conformity assessment by GMED to determine whether to approve or reject them. These changes may only be implemented by the company after they have been approved by GMED. Case 2 changes are also considered substantial changes, but unlike Case 1 changes, they do not require prior approval from GMED before the company can implement them. However, these changes must still be reported to GMED. Therefore, the company must notify GMED of its change project. Once the notification to GMED has been made, the company may implement the change without waiting for GMED to communicate the results of its review of the change project. For its part, GMED will review the change project notified by the company and will then evaluate the implemented change as part of post-certification surveillance and control activities or during recertification, in accordance with the applicable conformity assessment procedures. Case 3 changes are non-substantial changes. These changes have no impact on the safety or performance of the device, the intended use or conditions of use of the device, the critical processes of the company's quality management system, compliance with applicable regulatory requirements. Case 3 changes may be implemented by the company without notifying GMED. These changes must nevertheless be documented and recorded in the company's quality management system. Depending on the category of the change project, one or more steps in the change management process must be completed. The first step involves the company categorizing the change project. If the company determines that the change project falls under Case 3, no notification to GMED is required. If the proposed change falls under Case 2 or Case 1, the company must notify GMED. Once the notification has been made, the company may implement change projects categorized as Case 2. GMED reviews the reported change projects and communicates the results of its review to the company. Following the review and communication of the results, GMED may need to take steps to incorporate the change implemented by the company into the certification project and update certain administrative or regulatory documents. When the change project is categorized as Case 1, a quote for conducting conformity assessment activities is sent to the company. The company is invited to order by signing this quote to allow for the assessment of the change. After the quote is signed, GMED evaluates the change project, then conducts the final review and makes a decision regarding the approval or rejection of the change. GMED notifies the company of its decision and, if applicable, issues or updates the corresponding certificate and enters it into GMED. Once all of these operations and conformity assessment activities have been completed and subject to a favorable decision, the company may implement its Case 1 change project. The timeframes for GMED to complete certain operations in the change management process are already aligned and comply with the requirements of Implementing Regulation EU 2026-977. After the company notifies GMED of the change project, GMED conducts the review and communicates the results of this review to the company within a maximum of 30 calendar days. The number of possible suspensions during this phase is limited to 1. This time frame applies regardless of the category of the notified change. A maximum time frame of 20 calendar days with 1 possible suspension is also applied by GMED between the following steps. For Case 2 changes, from GMED's communication of the review results to the company until GMED completes the change management operations, such as updating a certificate and entering it into GMED. For Case 1 changes, from GMED's notification to the company of the decision to GMED's issuance of the certificate or the issuance of a supplementary document to the certificate, along with its entry into GMED. To assist companies in implementing this new process, GMED has updated its Change Management Guide. This guide serves as the reference document for understanding and applying the new change management process implemented by GMED. It includes, in particular, key definitions that enable companies to categorize their change projects, a detailed description of the different stages of the process, a list of the different types of changes, a categorization tool with numerous examples of changes to assist companies in categorizing their change projects. This categorization tool offers an approach based on concrete examples, enabling companies to determine the applicable category for a change project based on its type and the relevant certification scheme. It is used in 3 steps. Step 1. The company identifies the type of change in question based on the definitions and descriptions provided in the guide. Step 2. The company verifies the scheme impacted by the regulatory or voluntary change project. Step 3. The company determines the category of the change project based on the examples of changes listed in the guide. This tool is designed to assist companies in managing their changes and contributes to the structured and harmonized implementation of the new process. The submission of change projects by the company, their review by GMED, as well as the communication of review results and the tracking of change projects submitted to GMED are exclusively carried out and accessible via the GMED Connect client application. This application serves as the single point of entry for managing change projects and interacting with GMED. Digitizing the process simplifies and secures information exchanges between the company and GMED. Change projects, tasks to be performed, and associated documents are centralized and remain accessible at all times from the company's customer portal, thereby ensuring the traceability and tracking of change projects over time. To notify GMED of a change project, the company can click the Notify a Change Project button in its customer portal to access the notification form and submit to GMED all the information necessary for analyzing the change project. After clicking the Notify a Change Project button in the customer portal, the company is directed to the notification form. This form is organized into several sections, numbered 1 through 5, allowing the company to provide GMED with all the information and documents necessary for reviewing the change project. These sections cover, in particular, general information regarding the change project, a description of the change project, the category of the change project, and documents and information to be submitted. A link to the GMED guide is also available in the introduction to the form so that the company can refer to it when submitting the notification. Some change projects may require updating the data in GMED Connect Client, for example, when adding devices to the certified product range or adding a new site. When a data update is required, you can access the data to be modified directly from Section 4 of the notification form by clicking the Access Data button. A new window opens, from which you can view and update the data in GMED Connect Client while continuing to fill out the notification form. Once the notification form is completed, and if necessary, the data in GMED Connect Client is updated, the company clicks Save to save its entries. Once the notification form has been completed and submitted, the company can proceed with notifying GMED of its change project. This notification must be submitted from the application's customer portal using the Submit to GMED button. When the company clicks this button, the notification form and the updated customer data are sent to GMED for review. This action marks the transition of the change project to the GMED review stage. After the change project is submitted to GMED, the status of the notification form and the data in the application changes from in draft to submitted to GMED. The company's change project is then formally notified to GMED and enters the review phase. For change projects categorized as Case 2, the company may, once this status is reached, implement its change. Once GMED has completed its analysis of the change project, the results are communicated to the company via the GMED Connect Client application. The company is automatically notified by email that the results are available in the app. It can then access its customer portal and view the results of the review of its proposed change by clicking directly on the Access the Review Results button in the notification email. In the customer portal, the status of the notification form and the data in the application has changed and is now listed as Analyzed by GMED. The company can view the completed notification form along with the results of GMED's analysis by clicking directly on the notification form from the customer portal. All information related to the change project is thus centralized and easily accessible. The results of GMED's review of the company's change project are available for direct review in the notification form within a dedicated section. This presentation allows the company to clearly view the results of the review of its change project based on the information and documents submitted. All of this data remains accessible within the GMED Connect Client application via the company's customer portal. This presentation video of the new change management process has ended. The GMED teams remain available to answer any questions you may have about this new process. Hope to see you soon.